Good evening. Welcome, everyone. We have entered into a very beautiful time. It's a time of great silence. And silence comes from the stillness that we experience in our heart. We've spoken about the stillness many times. But I want to share with you today that in this silence, the consciousness is silently at work. There is so much going on the planet, and in fact, in the whole interdimensional plane, there is a realignment that is happening, and the forces to be that govern life on this planet and our lives, which we call as consciousness, or God, is silently resurrecting and bringing forth a beautiful revolution, a great change. There is no going away and running away from it. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed and we need to take some time to step back and look at things. But this flow is continuously there with us. And I want to reassure all of you today that there is no need for any fear at all. Because all that is happening is in our highest interest. Not higher interest, but highest interest. And wherever we need to be and whatever has to happen is already being set up for us. We are being taken in the safest possible manner, in the best possible hands, to where we need to be. And whatever is happening in our lives, even if it seems like chaos, even if you feel so tired and exhausted, even if you feel that too much is going on, remember that all that is being given to us is being given to us basis our capacity, basis what needs to be done. Tiredness, physical exhaustion, mental stress, anxiety comes when we mistakenly start believing that we are the doer. And when you believe you are the doer, which means the mind is fully engaged and it's coming from the space of ego and doership, and that is when all physical and mental tiredness comes. And in that exhaustion, the minute the mind says, I am tired, oh, I've been doing so much, there is so much happening, so much chaos is happening around me. Remember that time, tell yourself, this is your mind telling you things. Because who are you to do anything at all? Actually, none of us has any ability to do anything. It's silently being fixed by the consciousness. Everything is being fixed for us. We end up taking the credit ourselves. But when things don't go our way, we start blaming it very easily. When things are good, then I am the doer. When things are tough, then God or consciousness is to blame. It's a very simple philosophy we have made. But remember that God or consciousness never wants to harm any one of us, not even an ant, not even a mosquito. It doesn't want to harm anybody. It is always working for the highest welfare and well-being of all. The challenge has always been in our understanding, and in the moment some tough situations come, we forget everything and we start blaming and we start reacting. So when I say silence, I mean to be absolutely in surrender to the consciousness, to the powers that be, with full faith, full knowledge, full understanding that each one of us is being guided and protected at all times. Remember the mantra, all is as is meant to be. Not even a blade of grass is out of place. So stop being obsessed with your own personal challenges. Look at it, take a step back and look at it from a higher awareness and say that if this is in my interest, if this is in my highest interest, so be it. I am in acceptance. The minute we are in acceptance, everything starts to become part of the flow. As long as you're resisting and you're putting blame on others, as long as you're fighting, as long as you're screaming, as long as you're shouting, as long as you're even telling yourself, I'm so tired, then you are actually getting into the trap. You just keep laying your own traps and then you keep entering into it. So many things are happening in your life. Let them happen. Tell consciousness, please take care of it. Do your best and leave the rest. Remember the cup of happiness? How do we do our action? We do our best without expectation of result. We leave the rest in the hands of consciousness to do what needs to be done. I am not the doer. I can only put in my effort. Effort is our dharma. And then, when things are going on around you, then what do we do? How do we react? We become silent, we pause, and we do forgiveness so that negativity does not come into us. So that our mind, do not allow your mind to create stories. The mind is adept, skilled at making stories. Oh, this has happened because of that has happened. You guys must have seen me. I'll show it to you. Sometimes I wear this, right? And when I wear this, people think I'm having a headache. Somebody thinks I'm trying to look like Shirdi Baba. Somebody thinks, something. I keep getting messages. I just feel like wearing it, I'm wearing it. But everybody is cooking a story in their head. Yeah. I get many messages. Are you feeling okay? Are you having a headache? Please stop making stories. Why does your mind have to judge everything? Why can't we just see things as they are without trying to create something out of it? Remember the whole truth. The whole truth of this creation is nothingness. It's emptiness. But we are always trying to create something out of it. If we were to be left in an empty place, I'm sure we will try and, start making circles in the air. Because we are so used to doing something. And if doership comes from the space of flow, of the surrender, where it comes from the space of that you are just part of this flow and your mind just doesn't come in, you are able to do 100 things, in a day without feeling tired. When you take difficult decisions while surrendering to the consciousness and saying, let what is in my highest interest be done, your stake out of life goes away. Life becomes a game. Everything is so simple. Everything was created to work perfectly, but our mind just creates a speed breaker in it. Without your trying to interfere in it, I tell you, everything is being arranged. The best possible arrangement is being made. If we don't trust, we shout, we scream, we call people, we have to call 20 people and, share with them our problems, our challenges. We start, looking for, a sympathy here, somebody to, let our steam out. Silence, go in, trust this process. We are shifting, everything is being upgraded. Everything is being taken care of. No one is going to be left behind. But we have to trust the process. And, we know all this knowledge, but we have to start practicing this. So the best thing is silence. And whoever comes with you, just share what we have to share. And we all have been given this gift of love. Keep sharing this love. Keep spreading this love. Everything is going to be put in place. You've got to be patient. And when we get into this mode, which for the 5 minutes in the beginning we go into this silence, everything is beautifully set up for us. That's why, we go and do our meditation in the night, a silent meditation. Because in that silence, we come in connection, we come in touch with this higher consciousness, which is our truth. Our truth is not this mind. Our truth is this higher consciousness. And I encourage more and more to please, come for the night meditation. And let's come together, because when we come together, the energy that gets created is feeding the Mother Earth, is feeding this planet, is feeding those hungry souls, is feeding, the oceans. It is feeding the birds and the insects and the animals. It is doing its work. We don't have to say it aloud for it to happen. We're already channelizing the power of this group, the purity of this group. All of you have been on this path of sadhana for quite some time now. And there have been big changes in your life that are taking place. And you're carrying a different resonance. You're carrying a different vibration. You're carrying a different energy. Please trust this energy. We have to be like a rich man, an emperor who has everything with him or her, or like a rich queen who has all that has been bestowed by the universe, is given to us, is with us. And we have to trust it. We cannot act and pretend that we are a beggar or we are left helpless. None of us is helpless. You don't realize the power that each one of us holds. And that's the power of love. That's the power of our faith. The faith to not an invisible God, the faith on to the higher self. And that is when this beautiful change, this beautiful shift in consciousness starts to come in our life. And we are going into that time, we are going into that zone, we are going into that area where do not make stories. Whatever is happening, just observe it without trying to make any sense out of it. Don't try to make sense out of it, because you cannot make a sense out of it. It just needs to be experienced. Just distance yourself and watch how consciousness will make you do what you thought was impossible to do. How miracles start to happen around you in your life. How everything becomes effortless. Please stop putting effort and stop taking credit for what you are doing. It's being done through you, by you, but not this physical you. The higher you. That is the doer. And if you allow that higher you to take over, then that higher you takes you very beautifully where you need to be, where all struggle ends, where everything starts to merge together into this beautiful, raging river of love. And it's gathering momentum. And there are many, many who are coming together. Because everyone is looking for this at this point of time. So please believe in it, stay with it, hold on to it. It's our anchor in tough times. It's our guide when you need any kind of an advice, when you're not sure. It is your support, and it is your emancipation. And it is all there within you, in you, as you, around you. You don't have to go looking for it anywhere. Just be with it. Don't try to make any meaning out of it. Just start becoming stiller and stiller and stiller. And it will start to reveal itself to you. It will start to show you at every moment that it is there. Because this is not an ordinary journey. These are not ordinary times, and we are not ordinary people. Each one of us are divine. Each one of us has come here for a task. Each one of us has been chosen, and each one of us is meant to be where we are, facing our own environment and our own context. And where it is coming from? It's coming from our past actions. But we have to always resolve our past to move into our future. We cannot run from our past into a beautiful future, because this future will haunt us and will come and ruin our future. So we resolve, we work, we act with discrimination, and then we move into the future. So wherever we are, whatever we have been given, we are being told at this point of time to resolve it. And how do you resolve it? You look it straight into the eye, without panic, without fear, with courage, and say, let thy will be done. Let what is in my highest interest be done, because that is what has been ordained. And when you do that, and when you surrender like that, everything starts to open up for you. So that's it. So therefore, we should all have a big smile on our face, and we should all be happy that we are in it, and all that is for our best, for our highest good is unfolding, it's manifesting, and that we become one with it, and we just, are flowing with it. So there cannot be anything, there cannot be anything difficult about it. Because and whenever the other thing that I'm sure you're already aware of it, whenever you're trying to do something and it's not happening, you keep making your best effort and you leave it, that when the consciousness understands that the time is right, it will fall into place. But you don't stop making your efforts. Your job is only to make an effort. And when you make an effort without expectation of result, when you make your best effort all the time, and you get into the habit of doing it and leaving it at that point and not connecting yourself to the result, if you start practicing this, I'm telling you, all your actions will carry the lightness of love. You will not have the heavy burden of expectations. You will not get attached to the results. And then that is when life becomes a play. That is when we become really light. And even when you're doing simultaneously 10 things, you'll never feel the stress because there is nothing attached to it. Please try practicing this in your silence. It is very beautiful because the energy is really lifting. It's supporting this consciousness now. Try to practice what we have learned through the Atma Chalisa and which we have been discussing. So go back and you will see instantly you can leave the heavy zone of the mind and go into the light zone of the consciousness. Consciousness is light, consciousness is love, and consciousness is free flowing. Mind is heavy, mind is tired, mind is anxious, mind is exhausted. And you know all this. Remember, acknowledge, accept, release. Acceptance.